Hello all and welcome, and I am the Realist Philosopher, and in today's video, I'd like to talk about the subject of affirmative action, and why it's not only immoral and misguided, but also completely and utterly illogical. Now, many of you out there have been taught that affirmative action is merely an attempt to make up for the quote-unquote wrongs of the past by seeking to balance the scales, as it were. The idea behind affirmative action is that you can do right or good by doing wrong or evil. That sometimes to correct a wrongdoing, you have to do the exact same wrong that was done to you, even if the wrong that you claim to be setting right is happening no more. Now, obviously, this is illogical, and it's what is known as a logical fallacy of two wrongs making a right. No doubt you've heard of this fallacy. It's a fairly simple one to understand. Basically, you cannot say it's wrong to do a thing and then turn around and do the same wrong to others that was wrong when it was inflicted upon you. That would be like saying stealing is wrong, so we're going to make stealing illegal except for those groups of people who themselves have been robbed. Those people are going to be exempt from the law against stealing. Yes. Now, of course, these people who have been robbed can only steal from a specific group of people. Not their own, but other racial or ethnic groups who have supposedly in the past stolen from them. That's stealing? That's perfectly legal. So now you people who have been robbed by another racial or ethnic group, well, now you have carte blanche to steal from those who stole from you. In fact, not only do you have carte blanche to legally steal from those whom you claim stole from you in the past, but the government is going to help you do it. And in addition, you get to steal from those people's children as well, and their children's children well into infinity and beyond. Now, if I put forth this scenario as a reasonable solution to fixing the harms and subsequent inequities caused by robbers to those whom they robbed, by saying that the robbed now had free reign to themselves become robbers of not only those who had robbed them in the past, but to also rob the robber's kin and the kin's kin for the foreseeable future, well, you'd think I was out of my mind. Stop stealing? By making stealing legal, you say? Why not just make stealing illegal, period? I mean, really, how does legitimizing immoral and harmful behavior make any sense? If it was wrong before, it's wrong now. Simple. Yet, when you argue that doing wrong to correct wrongs by inflicting those very same wrongs on those who inflicted them on you, well, that's exactly what you're arguing for when you defend affirmative action programs. It was evil that these things were done to me, but it's not evil if I turn around and do them to the people that did them to me. No. It's still evil. Still not convinced? Okay, then. Let's reduce it even further to the individual level so you can see just how wrong affirmative action is. Man A robs man B. Man A is caught and taken to court. As punishment for his crime and to supposedly set right and equalize all future interactions between man A and man B now has the right to rob man A whenever he likes. And it's okay because I'm making up for past inequities. Like man A's new car? You get to take that because, hey, you've had evil done to you, so you get to legitimately do evil back. No problem. Not illegal. Man A robbing you, bad. Man B robbing man A back, not bad. But it gets even better. Because not only does man B have the right to rob man A, but the judge has decreed that he also has the right to rob man A's sons, and his son's sons, and his son's sons' sons to make up for the injustice of man A's actions. Furthermore, the judge decrees that the government will make sure that man A cannot ever stop man B from robbing him or his sons' sons, and that if he tries to stop man B at any time, then man A will be subject to the full force of the law, which will come down on him like an anvil, even though man B is doing exactly what man A did to him. But that was illegal. But this isn't. Yeah, seems a tad bit contradictory to me. Hey, my fellow whitey, your resume looks good, and you're more qualified for the job, but your people done oppressed Blackie over there for 300 years, so we're gonna give him the job instead of you because, we need to make up for the wrongdoings of your people, and we also need to make it possible for his people to catch up with yours. But I'm the more qualified for the job. If you just give the job to another person based solely on their skin color and not their merit, isn't that you doing what you say whites did to them, which makes both them and you know better? And by the way, how will they ever catch up if they are not getting the jobs based solely on merit? Won't they still be unable to compete on a level playing field? And in addition, won't they have no real motivation to improve themselves since they know they can get in based on their skin color alone? And in addition to that, isn't that a form of bigotry? Having such low expectations of blacks and other minorities, minus Asians of course, that they should be given jobs and placements in universities over whites simply due to their skin color? Isn't that essentially both us and them saying that they can't get in on merit alone? All very good points, my fellow whitey cracker. But we gotta be punished for our evil deeds, you know. And blacks need and deserve their revenge against us and all that. Even if all they're getting is a handout. And they're being enabled to continue to receive such. Yeah, sure, excluding white people is equally bad, but how else are blacks, browns, and other colored people supposed to get ahead? I mean, they did suffer for a long time because of these very same types of programs, so it's only fair that we now suffer, right? So you'll have to go find yourself another job somewhere else. Maybe you'll get lucky and Blackie won't apply for that job. And if you can't find a job, that's okay. You can always collect welfare. Bye-bye, my fellow whitey cracker, and good luck. Saying that it's okay to give preference to blacks because it was okay at one time to give preference to whites is no different than when whites were given preference over blacks based solely on their skin color, or when blacks were excluded from a job based solely on theirs. In fact, some might even argue it's worse now, as people are supposedly more informed as to how immoral such treatment is. Yet here we are, subjecting others to the exact same kind of treatment that was decried and declared as immoral and evil. And we're saying that it's perfectly okay, just so long as it's against whites. If it's wrong not to hire people based solely on their race, or to prefer others based solely on their race, then it's wrong. It doesn't matter who's doing it or how they try to justify it. You don't right wrongs by committing the very same wrongs that you're attempting to right. A wrong doesn't become right simply because you wish it to be. You cannot even the scales by indulging in and profiting from the very behavior you fought to have abolished. That would be akin to saying, well, it's okay to enslave others because those others once enslaved us. There's no circumstance where slavery is moral, and there's no circumstance where discriminating against an individual based on their race or ethnicity is moral. Be it a white man not being hired because he's white, or a black man not being hired because he's black. Making such discrimination a legal requirement or encouraging such behavior in any way is no different than legalizing or encouraging slavery or robbery in moral terms. Any attempt to say otherwise is nothing more than equivocation. Affirmative action is wrong and immoral. If you wish to encourage people to judge individuals based on their individual merit, then judge and treat individuals as individuals. Yes, some white people treated blacks unfairly in the past. You don't solve that by treating all white people unfairly in the present. This will do nothing more than put whites into the same boat blacks were once in, until a time will come when such a great amount of harm has been done to white people that blacks will feel shame and whites will demand fair and equal treatment under the law. Sound familiar? Then you'll have affirmative action programs for whites to guarantee that they are treated fairly, and the tables will have turned against blacks, against minorities in favor of whites, who by this time will themselves probably be a minority. And blacks, well, you'll end up right back where you started, marginalized and treated unfairly under the law, and by society as a whole, for all the evil, immoral, unfair, and cruel acts that you inflicted on whites over such a long period of time. Yes, the worm will turn and turn again, so long as one seeks to right wrongs with wrongs, to correct immorality with immorality. The only way to stop such a cycle is to stop it all. The immorality must end on both sides, not just one. It's really that simple. Otherwise, all you'll have is immorality upon immorality. One side will do harm to the other side, and the other side will in turn seek to harm them back. Those who inflicted harm, who are now having it visited back upon them, will then seek to return that harm with even more harm. And the cycle of harm for harm, immorality answered with immorality, will continue, and on it will go until it's all put to rest. Anyhow, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and found it informative. If so, you might also enjoy some of my other content. I make a podcast that is released every Tuesday and Friday and is available on SoundCloud. You might also wish to consider following me on Twitter or Facebook, where I post prodigiously. You'll find all these links in the description of this video. And by the way, I receive no monetization from this or any of my other videos or from my podcasts. So if you like what you hear, please consider supporting me. You can do so by going to therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That's therealistphilosopher.com/donate. And that's it. I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.